All right. Here we go with Chapter 8 homework. An opinion poll contacts 1161 adults and asks them which political party do you think has better ideas leading the country in the 21st century, and all 696 of the 1161 say Democrats. The sample in this setting is. So the question is, what's the sample in this setting? Um, the actual sample? That was a great question. Well, the sample are the people that we're collecting data from. And who are we collecting data from? We're collecting data from the 1161 adults. Okay, 696 answered Democrats, but the people that we actually interviewed would be our sample. All right, 17. A committee on community relations in a college town plans to survey local businesses about the importance of students as customers. From telephone book listings, the committee chooses 150 businesses at random. Of those, 73 returned the questionnaire mailed by the committee. The population for this survey is, okay, so the population. Who is it that we're trying to collect data about? Okay, so we're surveying local businesses about the importance of students as customers, and we chose 150 businesses at random. Um, what would be our population? Would it be all the businesses in this college town? Just the 150 chosen, or the 73 that answered it? Well, the population would be all of the businesses chosen. The 100, or I combined two, sorry. All the businesses in the college town. The 150 chosen are the people that we are wanting to collect as our sample, but the actual sample would have been the 73 that we collected data from. Okay? This is actually something called the sampling frame. And this would be my sample. Okay, the sampling frame is the group that could possibly be in my sample, and then 73 are my sample, the people that actually got it. Now, as you know, this is a bad sample because it's a voluntary response, because only these you're expecting, or the samples actually only 73 people who voluntarily returned or mailed back the information or returned the questionnaire. So there we go on that. So let's see what we got. I think we can do a few more of these on this. 819. You must choose a SRS of 10 to 440 retail outlets. And you want to use this is the table. This is the random number table. Okay. And since we have 10 to 440 retail outlets, I have to, in order for them to all have the same chance of being selected, they all have to have the same number of digits as I assign to them. So the first one would be assigned, the first store, they'd have to all have 3 digits because there's 10 to 440 or 430 stores. So it would go from, oh, wait a second here. Oh, hold on. I got to read this a little more carefully. Let me see what we got here. Let me erase this here. I want to choose an SRS of 10 of the 440 stores. Okay, how would I label the population in order to use it? Okay, so I want to label the population of the 440 stores. So I've got up to triple digits. So that means my very first store would be store number 001, second, third, fourth. Started going a little bit too fast there. I was thinking a little bit sideways on that one. All the way up to 439 store and 440 store. That way, every store, when I look at their table of random numbers, or random digits, actually, I'm looking for 3-digit numbers, and every store has a 3-digit number assigned to it, like we did in class. And so I'm going to pick up A. Now notice B has 3 digits also, but since it started at 00 and ended at 440, that's actually 441 stores. So that's why that one's no good. And this one doesn't count because here I've got store number 1 is 1 digit and the last store is 3 digits. And if you pick a 1-digit number, that comes up a lot more often than 3-digit numbers. So we need to make sure that all the stores are equally likely, so they all have to have the same number of digits, if that makes sense to you. Okay, they all have to have the same chance of being selected, so they all have to have the same number of digits. All right, 22. We've got archaeologist wants to examine a sample of 2-meter square plots near an ancient city for artifacts visible in the ground. They choose separate samples of plots from the floodplain, the coast, the foothills, and the high hills. So there's 4 different regions that they're sampling plots from. Now, what kind of a sample is this? Well, these are distinct areas, and you're taking a sample from each. That's called a stratified random sample. In class, we did the high schools, freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior. Well, here there's 4 groups. We call them strata. And the strata are homogeneous groups, meaning each group is similar in and of itself. Okay. And lastly on this video, 23. A sample of households in a community selected at random from a telephone directory. Okay, so they're going to choose people from that. In this community, 4% have no telephone, 10% have only cell phones, and 25% have unlisted. The sample will certainly suffer from undercoverage because none of these people, okay, the people that have no phone or only cell phones or unlisted, all of these people, 25 plus 4 plus 10 is 39%, won't be in the directory, and hence won't be able to be in your sample. Okay, thus the bias is undercoverage. Thus the sample suffers from undercoverage. All right, there we go.